Okay, lead follow-up. So last week, we discussed lead follow-up. Adrian was there, a couple of you were there, and we were looking at how do you define a lead? And this is critical because people say, hey, I got a database of 5,000 leads, right? But I have a database of 5,000 leads. What is the definition of that lead? Well, all they were was a pay-per-click lead. They went online and they searched homes for sale in San Diego. My ad showed up. They clicked on the ad. They went to my landing page. There were listings there. They clicked on a listing, and my website asked them to register, and they gave me a phone number and an email. And then that company said, hey, you just got a lead. What is that? That's not even really a lead. That's just someone who clicked on a link and was interested in a listing and gave me their information. And most likely, most of the time, most of that information is not even accurate. So the definition of that lead is actually not even fully complete because a lot of times it's not even the right phone number or email. So that makes it 10 times even worse. So how do you define a lead? And what we have to do with our CRMs and with open house, prospecting, expired cancels, we have to define our lead for ourselves and start to build a category that gives us definition. So let's take a look at a few different kind of definitions here. So there's someone that is ready, willing, and able to sign a contract within the next 30 days. What is the definition of that lead? Hot? Smoking hot? Really, 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 really hot? Okay, but then there's a couple other things that we got to look at. Let's say they were a buyer. Do we know, and this is where that LP Mama, or this is where GGMS coaching kicks in. If they're a buyer, do we know price point and location? Do we know finance? Do we know time frame? Do we know if they would be willing to work with us? Right? So there's these qualities, these milestones that we need to achieve. But how do we categorize this in your database? Okay, so there's the definition, the status. Are they hot? What is your definition of hot? That they are a buyer or seller that it has the capability of signing a contract with you in 30, 60, 90 days? You decide, but you need to decide. Now, are they a watch? And a watch is someone who is considering buying and selling within the next 6 months. Are they someone that is a nurture? They said they're interested in buying and selling, investing within, 6 months to a year. Are they a nurture, right? So we have to, and we all need to make a decision for ourselves what that definition is. And the tighter your definition, meaning, as they say, the smaller you define someone who is ready and willing and able to sign a contract within 7 days or less, if you have a lot of those, we're going to make a lot of money. If you have a lot of leads that are, they said that they're interested in doing something in the next year, if you have a lot of those, you're not going to make any money. Because what happens when you have too many of those? We go into our database, we're going to go do lead follow-up like we are today, and you go look at all of them and you go, none of these guys are motivated. And then what do? Nothing. See, that's the problem, is when you have too many undefined leads, you don't know who to prioritize, okay? And then you don't know what the next action steps are. So the milestone stuff that I love that GGMS does is all about like, okay, well, what do I know and what do I not know? And what do I know and what's the next question? And if I know this, then next thing I need to know is that. So if I know that they want to buy something in this area at this price point, what's the next question? And that's where that LP Mama starts to kick in. That's where the GGMS coaching flow starts to kick in, because it gives you the next question, the next milestone that you need to get. Okay, I know price, range, and area. Now I need to know, right? Maybe I need to know the qualities of the type of home. Maybe I need to know what the next time frame is. Maybe I need to know what their motivation is. Maybe I need to know if they have an agent or don't have an agent. Maybe I need to know what finance is. It doesn't matter. We all need to know all of those things, don't we? So what is your order in the way that you do it every single time, and how do you define it? Now let's go over to the sell side. What's on the seller side? They said they're interested in selling. Great. Now what? What do you need to know? What's the next question? What is the ideal time frame? Probably really important. Okay, what's the motivation? Are they a want to or are they a have to? What's their perception of the market? What's the biggest concerns they have around the market? Perception of the market. Good question. Okay, well, what's their perception of value? Right? Have they really started to think about what they're going to do to prepare their home? Is there any other players involved? Yeah. So what is your standards for all of the things that you need to know, right? And then how do you define that in your CRM so that when we go do lead follow-up, where do we start? Hot. Then we go to watch. Then we go over to nurture. Do you guys follow me? And then when I go look at the lead, I go, what do I know? What do I not know? Oh, yeah, this is that guy. What's the next step? Well, he needs to get his financing organized. I haven't talked to him in a week, so therefore, call him up because I just need to get him, hey, we talked about financing. Where are you at with that? I recommended my buddy, have you guys connected yet? No, cool, let's get that done, right? And I can text them and I can video them and I can email them and I can, send a pigeon with a note, right? Doesn't matter. But we know what the next action step is. And then I can then set a reminder, I can set a task in my system and move on, okay? So the genius of what some of you guys know about GGMS is that they've kind of defined all of this with the CRM, with the definitions, with the statuses. And it's like, when I really started to understand that, I was like, wow, that's a lot of power. But for all of us, we have to start this process. So if some of your lead follow-up today is simply going, I got all this mess, what do I need to do? Let's just start from the beginning, go, what do I know? What do I not know? Where is this person at in the process? And what's the next step? How should I label it? What's the next question I should ask them? Call them, text them, email them that question. Then set the category so that the next time around, we know exactly what to do with that person. Okay, so lead follow-up is all about that. People are, what do I do with lead follow-up? Well, what's the next question you need to ask them? Well, I don't really know. Well, then you're an idiot, right? You know what I mean? Like, no, what's the thing you don't know yet that could help you serve them, right? Then what's the next piece of information that you can share with them that would help them move them to the next step? And then what's the best form that we should do that in? Call, text, email. Make a decision, do it. Then after, what's the next action step or the frequency that we should reach out to that lead based upon what we know and what we don't know? What's the frequency that makes the most sense? Okay, and the last thing I'll share, I'm gonna shut up, is that, my dad would ask this one question of the audience every single time. He would say, do we lose more business from over following up or under following up? What's the answer? It's always under.
Under follow up.
Under following up. But what's the number one concern all real estate agents have about their lead follow up?
They're going to think that I'm a weird guy.
Over following up, over following up. We all are worried about over following up, and then we don't follow up, and then we lose tons of business. Everybody who over follows up, usually motivated, good people, appreciate you, and they honor you for your efforts and your diligence. The good ones always appreciate and honor you for your efforts and your diligence. And those are your best clients, because they're like, Josh, you were the only one. You followed up with me relentlessly every week. I ignored you for 6 months. And then finally I was ready, and then I picked up the phone and we did the deal. And there was 5 other agents I was talking to, but because you were the only one that was consistent with me, you earned it. That's what we need to hear more often. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Let's get on some lead follow-up. Go ahead, Danny, with